Hi, it's Mrs. Cannikins back with another Google AI Blitz, and this month we are going to look at upskilling your prompting in Gemini. You could use any tool. You've maybe been prompting and playing with AI, but the better your prompt, the better your output. And so prompting is actually a bit of an art. You don't need a specific science, but you need to just remember to do a few things, and we're going to take a look at those. There are lots of prompt structures out there, prompt acronyms. This one is from the Generative AI course by Google, and it uses P.A.R.T.S. And so we have P for persona. That is, who are you? I'm a math teacher. You are a high school volleyball coach. You are a university professor, whatever you are. Or you can say I am or you are. The next one, A, is the aim. What's the thing that you want? Do you want 10-item multiple choice quiz? Do you want to differentiate? Do you want a lesson plan? Help me brainstorm a list of 50 things. What do you want? What's the thing? Then who is the recipient? Are you telling me like I'm a fifth grader or a 5-year-old even? Or is this for a knowledgeable audience? Or is this for a beginner level? And maybe you even include the location. This is in a rural setting. This is in a city setting. This is for a school audience or a parent audience. Then we have the T for theme. And so that can be a lot of things. That might be like how many or how long, or do you want 5 or 3? Do you want it formal? Do you want it informal? And then S is for structure. So do you want a bullet point list? Do you want it to be in code? Do you want it to include some emojis? Do you want it to be a quiz or a script? Do you want it to be a table that you can copy and paste into a spreadsheet? You can be really specific there. So here's an example of a prompt. And you can see that I have it color-coded based on those different parts of the prompt. So blue, persona, you are an expert curriculum planner. A is the aim. I want a set of activities to show if people know the following concepts, and I've got the concept in there. I'll show you where I've gotten that from. The R, 7th grade students. The T, the theme, I want a continual check throughout the year. So you'll notice I said not just a one-timer, but I want something that gives me like a set, a repeating. And then the last thing is I asked for a list. Now this part right here, the number sense, the grouping, ordering, and comparing, I actually took that from our district's 5 in and 5 out document, where these are our big goals for the end of the year. And so this is from grade 7 math. All year, they are going to drill that home so they make sure at the end of the year, students know this. And so what a great way to be practicing is by creating some activities with AI. This is another example. In the first one, I just copied and pasted the text, and then I used the highlight tool in Google Slides to highlight it. Here, I've screenshotted the words, and I used the underline tool in Google Slides to create little lines, colored lines. Now, I've used colored legend. You can use your own colors. It doesn't have to match mine, but you're welcome to if you want. As we're prompting, and you're going to see in a moment when we jump into Gemini, it's super important that we don't think that we want to just be done after a single prompt. You might have heard me say before, prompting and pasting is pathetic. So we have to check it over. We have to put our human lens on it. We have to reprompt and ask it to do better. Maybe our prompt wasn't specific enough. Maybe the AI just gave us a bad response. Either way, we need to keep prompting until we get something that is more of what we are wanting. And as we're thinking critically, I want you to keep this in the back of your mind. We want to think about AI for both us as teachers and our students as AI to support learning. It's going to help us brainstorm. It's going to help us create something, not something that replaces our thinking. If we're just asking it to, help us with this outline, and then we take that and we go, we're going to have something that's not very valuable. So we don't want it to do the work for us entirely. We don't want it to replace our thinking. We always have to be that human in the loop. So let's jump over to Google's Gemini, and I've turned on dark mode here. And so you can see this is the same prompt that we had on the screen right there. And to speed things up a little bit, we'll just go through this prompt. What it does is it gives me a nice list here. And so it's given me quick formative assessments for 2 to 3 times a week. I really like that. And then it's given me exit tickets, which doesn't belong. Yeah, I can do those quickly. Some interactive and collaborative checks, number line, 4 corners, card matching, observational and discussion-based checks, So that's where you might have students working together. Oh, I see they have like a learning log. That's going to be over more time. And then some project-based things, something that would continue over the year. So I have a whole range of things here, from really short 2 to 3 minute things to something that I could stretch out and build on over the year. Now, what I can do now is I'm going to drill down. I'm going to ask it for more. So what I did is I said, hey, I really like the number line placement. And so I came and I asked it to help me build out the number line activities. I asked it to build a spreadsheet with 100 items that could be placed on the line. And then I told it what I wanted. So I gave it some of that theme. The teacher or student would choose from a bank for regular practice. The spreadsheet should have equally sized cells and be in a format that would print easily. Okay, so what it did is it said, okay, I can create that for you. This was what happened. I used Canvas, the Canvas part of Google Gemini here, but it gave me all of these different outputs. It also gave me some suggestions for use. So then what I did is I took those and I came up here to the share button. So in the top right, there's a little share button and it's not opening. It says I can copy or export to Google Docs. When I did that, it gave me this list. And what I noticed is that all the items were mixed up and I wanted to put them on different color paper. I thought it would be great to have like blue for decimals and yellow for fractions. So it did that, but it put dollar signs in there. And the fractions were even more gobbledygook. So I went back and I said, that wasn't good enough. It came out in funny text. Can you do it better? This is where I asked it to put it into 2 distinct pieces. And so then it gave me another version. This time it gave me a nicer format. And then I said, oh, well, if I try to print that, those columns will be too small. I don't want to have to change all that by hand. So now it gave it to me in 5 columns. And so here's, over time, we also ended up with percentages. So it added that. So there's percentages, decimals, and fractions. And then what it did was it took me through exactly how to do all the steps in Google Docs. It showed me how to make the cells bigger. It showed me how to spread them out. So it gave me instructions for printing, go to file, do this. And so it was really helpful there. Then it told me to cut them out even. Then it asked me if I wanted an answer key, and I said, yes, I do. It printed a nice answer key so that as a teacher, even though I could figure it out, I have it on hand, or maybe I want to create a self-check activity for students. So you can see here that we've gone back and forth, and we've kept asking it. Then it asked if I wanted rules or some games to play with all my number cards, and it gave me a bunch of activities. Now, every time it gave me a file to print, up at the top, it says files in this chat. So if it made me something and put it in a format, they're all right up here in the very top right that looks like a file cabinet. So if I open up any of those files, that's how I can get back to them. So you can see here with Gemini that I have asked it and pressed it. Sometimes it was like, oh, I did not, like, I asked, you did what I asked for, but that doesn't work very good. Can you change it? Can you change it? And it will, for the most part. Now, I kept working and working on it, and I showed you this piece here. Here's the actual piece that I printed. So after about 10 or 15 minutes, I had like actual printing. Now, I haven't done the cutting yet, but that was really quick. I have a huge set of cards. And the thing is, I can go back to that Gemini chat and I can say, hey, change this for me, right? I don't have to type them all in. I can just ask it to change it for me and it will do it. And so when you think about going to Teacher Pay Teacher or something else like that, you get a one-time thing. It's hard to change. The thing about using AI or Gemini is you can go back and you can ask it to change it up. So prompting in Gemini, parts, the audience is important, the recipient is important, your role is important, the structure, all of those things. And if you miss one or two, it's going to be okay. But the more that you give it for prompting, the better. Because remember, it's not replacing our thinking. We want it to be a support in our learning and our teaching. So there you have it, another Google AI Blitz. We hope that you will submit your final product as per the instructions in your Google Classroom.